All right, if you shop at Costco, you're going to want to listen up. So, for quite some time, I have not been a big advocate for shopping at Costco because I am very aware of a lot of corruption that happens with their packaged foods, with reformulations to create more volume so that they can sell it to you at a less expensive cost, using tons of fillers, just things that our bodies aren't meant to digest. And it's a way that, the food manufacturers can save money and make you think you're getting a deal. Well, there's always deception. So yesterday, my husband and I wanted to have a nice date night, and we discussed going out to dinner. But with all the digestive issues that I have, I get very fearful about going out to eat. I can't have dairy. I cannot have any kind of wheat exposure. And most of the restaurants, especially with the current food shortage and food cost issues, there's just no integrity at all in the industry, whether it's restaurants, food manufacturing companies. We're in real dire circumstances. So, long story short, he suggests, why don't we just, cook dinner and have a nice evening on the roof, have lovely dinner. So he wanted to get some Chilean sea bass and tried to get it from Santa Monica Seafood Company, but it was like $50 something a pound. And so he suggested, why don't you stop by Costco and see if they have any Chilean sea bass and see if it's more affordable. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I purchased 2 Chilean sea bass fish fillets with the skin still on them. I'll take pictures and show you. And they were labeled Chilean sea bass, wild caught. And so we had a lovely dinner. It was delicious. And then about an hour to 2 hours after I ate dinner, I started violently throwing up last night and massive, massive pain in my stomach. And then this morning I woke up, and upon standing out of bed, I had an orange oily liquid just literally leak from my body. And I was like, what is going on? So I continued to have these just absolutely horrific bowel movements. And so I was like, what is going on? This is not normal. And upon doing some research, I discovered that what I am experiencing is called carryoria, which is it's basically from consuming fish that was mislabeled. So there are things called wax esters that are found in certain types of fish, particularly the Escolar family or oily fish family. And ultimately, these 2 species contain very high proportions of indigestible wax esters. So ultimately, what happens is your body cannot digest this stuff. And so it's literally creating this wax that is developing in the bowels, and it's coming out as an orange oil. There's no treatment for it. It can take days for this to work its way out, but the oily diarrhea is basically caused from an accumulation of these indigestible fish oils, and they are expelled involuntarily. So, if you do not want to be in my situation, I highly, highly encourage you to boycott Costco. You just cannot trust anything. And it was interesting because they were charging half of the cost for the Chilean sea bass compared to what Santa Monica Seafood Company wanted. So, when it seems like it's too good to be true, it is. It's too good to be true. It's not real. So, I think that this is a huge problem that we have amongst the entire food industry. And with food cost continuing to rise and shortage of things being available, we need to be very, very conscious consumers. This is where shopping locally really knowing the people that you are buying your food from can be so beneficial at protecting yourself from these kinds of things happening. So basically, most likely the fish. So I found all of this information, and fish mislabeling and misidentification has led to incidences where Escolar or oily fish have been incorrectly or fraudulently sold under different names, such as butterfish and rooterfish. Escolar has been sold in other countries, including the United States, under names such as sea bass, cod, white tuna, and Hawaiian butterfish. So this is just a PSA announcement for you. Fish are like one of the only proteins, but eggs and fish are pretty much the main meat proteins that I do consume. And I'm going to be honest, with everything that has been going on with me over the last 6 months and all of the digestive issues I've had, it's just getting to a point where I don't even want to eat food anymore. I don't want to put anything in my body because I can't trust it. And that's a frightening thought. I've started making my own gluten-free breads. I'm trying to grow as many herbs and produce as possible in containers since I don't have a yard. I'm trying to be as, responsible as possible to ensure that I'm putting highly nutritious food into my body that is not going to harm me. And it's frightening to think that here in the US, we just don't have safety regulations that are protecting us, and we're in dire times, and we need to come together as a population, as citizens, to demand better. It pisses me off more than anything to think that I spent so much money on that freaking fish to be in severe pain and to have to miss an entire day of work because I'm having involuntary, explosive, oily bowel movements and vomiting. This is not fun, and I don't wish this upon anyone, which is why I've taken the time to make this video so that you are aware. So I purchased this at Crown Valley Costco here in Southern California, which is in the Laguna Niguel area. So if anyone is watching this and shops there, I'm definitely bringing this to the store's attention. So my hope is that they will pull all of that Chilean sea bass off of the shelf, and they will do an appropriate test to ensure that this does not happen to other people. So anyway, just curious, what are your thoughts? Has anything like this happened to you? How do you feel about the state of our food system right now? And where do we go from here? What do we do? How do we protect ourselves? I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts. All the love.